Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream where I once again take a look at yet another silly article. You might remember Protein World from the Beachbody Ready advertisements that were labeled as body shaming and sexist and all that good stuff. And they're back with a new ad. I'm a little bit late on this one, but I wanted to talk about it and weigh in on it anyway. See what I did there? Yeah. All right. So, Protein World is back with a new body shaming ad, and it's more sexist than ever. Happy New Year from scantily clad ladies. Hashtag sexism. Anyway, picture the scene. A dance soundtrack begins as a series of toned women in bikinis appear on screen. They waggle their tongues at the camera, growl at the lens provocatively, wipe sand from their bum cheeks, and gyrate while wearing only headphones and a black cutout two-piece. In fact, only a couple of the women aren't in swimwear. Oh no, but fear not. They're still showing plenty of flesh in crop tops and hot pants. Kind of like some women decide to do in real life. Hang on, did one of them just suggestively lick an ice lolly? No, this isn't Robin Thicke's newest music video, though you'd be forgiven for making that mistake. Welcome to the latest advert by Protein World. If you think the name sounds familiar, you'd be right. The self-proclaimed premium online health store was responsible for one of the biggest advertising gaffes, or triumphs, depending on your opinion, of 2015. It's 2015, we should be past this. Well, now it's 2016, and apparently we should be past this. It's Are You Beachbody Ready billboards, which showed a woman in a skimpy bikini, legs akimbo, sparked widespread controversy last summer, with campaigners accusing them of body shaming and being sexist, because the mere existence of somebody slimmer than you is body shaming. That's where we're at now in society. An online petition to remove the posters gathered more than 70,000 signatures, while feminists defaced posters on London's Tube network. Because, if you can't get what you want, act like a child and destroy property that doesn't belong to you. Here we are. Are you Beachbody Ready? I shouldn't even show this on screen. I could be shaming somebody now. The Advertising Standards Authority eventually banned the ads from returning to the underground and launched an investigation into whether they were socially responsible, eventually deciding they weren't offensive. Nonetheless, Campaign Magazine recently named it as the worst advertisement of last year. I don't know if I would call it the worst. I'm sure there's much worse than that, but it's probably one of the most controversial. And if the Advertising Standards Authority, looked into this, they decided it wasn't offensive, which, I mean, come on, what is it's a photo of a woman. How is that offensive? I mean, it's not like she's naked, and even if she was, I'm sure there's an audience for that. Now, Protein World is back. Its latest slogan, New Year, New You, is perhaps the least offensive thing about the TV commercial, which I saw last night during the ad breaks between Legally Blonde on Channel 5. Oh, God, you have terrible taste in movies. And just real quick, the slogan, New Year, New You, I really hate that. It's like, oh, yeah, just because a new year is starting, I'm going to make a brand new me. Well, if you really want to make change in your life, you don't need to wait for the new year to do it. Just pick up, get started, and become the so-called new you right away. Why wait? It's just an excuse. I know that, some people say, well, I like to be organized and it gives me motivation. Well, you know what gives me motivation? Doing things before, without waiting for some stupid arbitrary day in the distant or near future. The sooner you start, the sooner you will see results. I could probably go on about this for a little bit more, but I'll stop there. But yeah, New Year, New You. I can't stand that saying. Please stop. There I was, sitting comfortably on the sofa in my Christmas jumper, a final festive fling before the big return to work. Why do they link all this stupid shit? Eating chocolate and watching a film that encourages women to unashamedly be themselves when, bam, I was smacked in the face by something. Uh-oh. Was it your boyfriend? No. At first glance, looked like soft porn. Really? It's a commercial. It made my heart sink. Ugh, how sad. Twitter agreed because a collection of, let's see, one, two, three, four tweets. That speaks for the entirety of Twitter. I didn't even realize Twitter could have an opinion, as if it's some sort of sentient being. The Twitter has spoken. So yeah, a couple of bitches, oh whoops, sexism, said it was body shaming and all that nonsense and sexism, blah blah blah. Even though they fail to take into account that the women that are starring in the commercial did so of their own volition. Let's see. But no, it's probably just, the patriarchy holding a gun to their head to do it. Another critic wrote on Protein World's Facebook page, "We haven't forgotten that hideous advert you had on the tube inviting all women to comply to the subjective standards of what you thought was a beach body." I thought of the ad again this morning when I read about a new study by Weight Watchers. They asked 2,000 women about being kind to themselves and found that the average woman criticizes herself 8 times a day. 1 in 7 chastises themselves throughout the whole day, every day. I mean, that sucks. That's really sad. Not gonna lie, I apparently, according to this standard, I'm probably a woman because I criticize myself a lot. But that doesn't necessarily mean that things that could potentially offend you shouldn't exist. Little wonder when the message we're being slapped with is that the new year requires a new you, one who looks like a Victoria's Secret model and crab walk on the beach while wearing a flawless white swimsuit. Why do people take commercials so seriously? I think advertisements are mostly retarded and don't even pay attention to them. I don't think I've ever wanted to buy something or change my mind about something due to a commercial. I'm just like, yeah, this is retarded. Later. Ads like this fly in the face of successful campaigns such as This Girl Can. Sport England's initiative, launched a year ago this month, aimed to encourage women and girls to take up sport by telling it like it is. Cue sweating, jiggling, huffing, and puffing. Real women doing sport and loving it. So real women as opposed to fake women? I mean, just because you are offended by the way they look, that means they shouldn't be allowed to be in a commercial, or I don't know, what, like walk down the street at this rate? This wasn't about how they looked, but how they felt. The videos were watched 37 million times on social media and have been credited with helping 148,700 women participate in sport so far. I'm curious as to where they got that exact, very, very precise number. And there wasn't a pert bottom in sight. This is what women really want: honesty, not perfection. There may be some truth to that. Unless, of course, we're talking about what she wants in a male partner. We don't want to be shamed while sitting on our sofas. We want to be inspired by something we can realistically achieve, and we want ads that speak to us, not to the men we're supposedly dying to impress with our newly toned abs. This just in: lesbians don't exist. Lesbians never happened. Women don't like looking at other women. Okay, so is it really that wrong now to want to aspire to something? I mean, if you see somebody in a commercial on a treadmill and they're huge and they're eating donuts while running, I mean, is that really going to inspire you to get off the couch and do better? The whole point of inspiration is to have something to aspire to achieve, so a slight difference in what you look like versus what you could look like could be used as motivation. I can understand where it could get discouraging. I exercise myself, and I think there's two sides to this. I think that both men and women set standards for each other on what is and is not generally attractive. But I'm not going to go and complain, well, women always like this, blah, 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 because everybody has their own personal preferences. And I trust in, maybe this is a mistake on my part, but I trust in most of people not to get too caught up in some sort of societal standard. I would hope that they would decide for themselves what they think is attractive and not attractive. I'm probably being a bit too optimistic on that, because most of the time I do see that they don't. They do kind of adhere to what society says is attractive. Why does Protein World still not get it? Women's Health does, because it's directed at women. The magazine recently announced that its New Year's resolution was to ditch the phrases bikini body and drop 2 dress sizes. Why would you do that? I mean, clearly there is a limit to there's a point where you shouldn't really wear certain things. I know that's the wrong opinion to have these days, but it doesn't. There's just, why would you want to go out and embarrass yourself, really? I mean, if you feel ashamed of your body, you can't place the entire blame on what society will think. You are unhappy with yourself, so you have to do something in order to feel better about yourself. And changing the minds of everybody else on the planet isn't the way to go about that, at least not realistically. Editor Amy Keller-Laird explained in an open letter, since our goal is always to pump you up and never to make you feel bad, here's our pledge. They're gone. They'll no longer appear on Women's Health covers. It's a significant step forward in helping women feel good about their bodies and motivated rather than scared to hit the gym, road, or sports field. Why would they be scared? I mean, realistically, it can be scary to do something new, something you're not used to. There's a certain level of anxiety that goes with that for some people, some more than others. But you can overcome it. Part of feeling good about yourself, part of accomplishing goals, is overcoming the struggles. But while ads such as that by Protein World are still flashing before our eyes on TV screens, we stand little chance of squashing body shaming for good and convincing young girls that wearing a bikini isn't the only reason to be healthy. I like how they always frame it that it's everybody else's fault that women feel this way. These products are available. Women are buying them. If they didn't want to wear them, they have the option not to. And then, if all the women agreed, the companies that provide these things would stop selling the product because there's no market for it. That's how it works. And we can't hope to silence that critical inner voice that tells us we're too fat and don't do enough exercise up to 8 times a day. That's something you've got to work on yourself, though. You can't just place the blame on everybody else. It's very hard to be accepting of yourself. I get that. But it's not everybody else's fault. So let's take a look at the Protein World ad. It's not the full thing. It's like a 12-second sample. So I'm just going to play it, and hopefully it shows up well enough on the screen. I don't think there will be any sound. There might be, but either way, whatever. So let's see what it's all about. What are people getting pissed at? Okay. New year, new you. That's the most offensive part to me. So that's it. Couple of girls exercising, one walking. You could kind of see a butt cheek. But you could go to the beach and see that. Once again, you could go to the gym and see that. Are we going to censor real life? Are we going to have women walk around that, ones that are deemed too problematic to look at? Are we going to have them going around wearing like censor bars or something? It just doesn't make sense. And then they're calling out Protein World as being super sexist, body shaming, blah, blah, blah. But I found another advertisement. It's only a 15-second clip once again, so there could very well be more to this, but this is what I came up with on their Twitter. And let's take a look here. So, oh shit. There's a little bit of sound to this. Okay, so it's women talking about their progress, real life transformations. There's even a link to it. I'm not going to go to it, but I'm sure it shows more of this stuff. But look, this is not the beach body ready girl. I mean, she's got a little to her. So, and look, and Protein World is, they're showing, oh, you can do this. So I feel like they're clinging to one thing too hard. They're like, oh, because these women are skinnier than me, they're offending me. They're saying I have to look like this. They're not saying that. But if you are advertising products for weight loss, the best way to show that the product works is to show people that are slim, that are fit, because then you can look at it and say, well, wow, if I try, if I exercise, if I diet, if I use their products, I could attain a better body. I know, I said better. Forgive me. It's getting to a point where people are getting so offended by everything. They're taking everything personally. Things can't just exist anymore without directly impacting them. It's just a commercial. You will get over it. Granted, it sucks to have things thrown in your face all the time that you may not be comfortable with, but at the same time, facing those things head on and dealing with them is your road to recovery. If you remove everything you dislike, you're never challenging yourself. And therefore, you will never overcome it. And you're just sheltering yourself to only see things that you are comfortable with. And that's not even how the real world works, because you're going to go outside, you're going to go to the beach, you're going to see women that you may think are prettier than you, skinnier than you, and there's nothing you can do about that because they exist and they have every right to exist just like you do. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.